Hello there. Okay, I'm going to walk through with you on a screen recording here how to log in and arrive at the pre-timed blank subtitles that we prepared on Amara.org for Victor's return welcome of a group at the end of their 25 days in the wild. Um, so just here in the email thread we have, again, there's the link to the video in question and the credentials to log in with. So we're going to click the link. That'll bring us to the Amara website. We want to make sure we're logged in. If we aren't already, then we'll just log in with those credentials. There we go. And that brings us to this page. Now, this is kind of the first spot that things may have gone a little sideways. It's okay. I saw that you did have a list of translations, which is great, but I'm going to show you a couple of things here. We don't want to click this green bar. The Add Edit Subtitles can bring us down a path that I did not foresee. We want to click on the thumbnail itself. So we're going to click there. That brings us here, and as you can see, we have two subtitled tracks available. There's completed in English, British, and then there's incomplete subtitles. Now, those are a bit of misnomers. I wish these could be titled differently, but here we are. Essentially, the quote-unquote completed subtitles. These were the blank timed ones that I had brought in through Final Cut Pro that you were looking for. And it's possible that you hit Add Edit Subtitles at some point, and it created a new track, which landed you working in a timeline which had no pre-placed and timed blank subtitles. So the work you did is there, it's saved, and it is accessible. So we'll be able to leverage that so we don't have to start from scratch. They're here, but we want to click on these here, English, British, completed subtitles. Click that. Brings us to, again, a similar page, and it has a stack of revisions. Revision 4 is the most recent. If we now click on Edit Subtitles here, we're specifically telling Amara to load this subtitle track. Boom, brings up, of course, our reminders. I'm going to click discard here so that we're starting from where you last left things. Now, it will load perhaps like this, which can be a little disorienting. We want to scroll all the way up to the top, right to the beginning. And then beyond that, we're going to hover over the wrench of our first subtitle, and we're going to click on the very left button, Seek to Subtitle. Boom. That brings our playhead on the timeline to the very beginning of this first subtitle. Now, we do have these two columns. As you can see, this time on the left column, which is locked and cannot be edited, are the translations you just made on your last pass. Essentially, Amara allows you to have two transcripts up simultaneously. This way you can work in multiple languages or multiple interpretations, and you can reference one while you work on another. That's the idea. Now, the challenge is the translations that you did punch in that blank timeline, because those individual subtitles weren't timed. Each of them essentially lasts the duration of the video. Each of them essentially overlap each other at 26 minutes apiece. So I don't have a reference as to where each of these go. So that's kind of the second stage here. That's kind of what we need to do. And perhaps the simplest method is to copy and paste, is what I'm thinking. So what we have here in the center column, having loaded the English, British, quote-unquote, completed subtitles, as I just showed you, that brings us to be able to edit the series of blank template subtitles, which I pre-timed. And these are the ones we were looking at and referencing during our little Zoom conference call. What this will allow you to do, if you hit tab, I'm going to play back. There's Victor. That's a greeting of some sort, I suppose. Now, I'm not sure if this corresponds to the first one you had translated, or if it's the next one. Perhaps that is these first two. That's what my instinct is telling me, but it's all kind of a guess. So, in that regard, if that were the case, if what we just heard spoken corresponds to these translations that you've already made, here's what I would recommend we do. We could select that text. We can right-click and click copy. And because we've clicked this title here and it highlights it blue as well in this column, we can now backspace and paste. And then he does repeat himself as well. And I'm guessing that's going to be come on. And we can also paste that. This way it preserves the translations you've already done, which weren't timed, and now we're essentially pasting them into the pre-timed segments. And I know we did touch on the subject of the orange alerts about character, line length, all of that stuff. I've done a few more tests, and I would suggest we don't worry about that, because things will save nonetheless. The alerts will persist, but I can handle the formatting stuff after the fact. It'll save us some time on the translation process here. If you just play through each subtitle, have a listen, and by all means copy the translations you've already typed out and paste them into the corresponding subtitles that have been pre-timed on the timeline. If you do need to retime one for whatever reason, by all means, you can do that. Just please make sure that you review and have a listen if you do make those kinds of changes to make sure that the text that is in each subtitle corresponds to what Victor is saying in the video. And as I said, don't worry about the alerts. These are things I can punch through and revise and fix. In terms of formatting and durations and character length and all of that, I can handle that on the other end. We don't have to worry about that at this stage, so that should shave some time off of this as well. And you can scroll down through these. Keep in mind that these rows don't necessarily de facto correspond to the row that is here. So if you find yourself in a situation where, you're looking for a line here, but the corresponding translation is you can't see it at the same time, you can click this little lock here and scroll these columns separately. Just always remember that the central column, the one that can be selected and highlighted in blue, corresponds to the subtitles that are pre-timed on the timeline up above. And again, if you lose your space, if you have this one selected but your playhead is elsewhere, you can synchronize the two of them by clicking on or hovering over the little wrench of that specific subtitle that you're looking for and clicking the Seek To subtitle, and that will reposition your playhead and therefore your timeline to correspond to the selected subtitle here. I hope that is clear and helps to kind of clear things up. You can also relock your columns if you need to. Keep in mind it will lock them however you have. You'll notice that this scroll bar and this scroll bar are they're synchronized now, so they both scroll simultaneously, but there are different positions in the columns. But again, the translations you've completed, which are fantastic, we just need to place them. We need to time them to the dialogue so that I know where stuff is going. Because at this current moment, we have translations which I'm not able to lock in time with where Victor is speaking. So I think that kind of covers things. Have a watch through this if necessary. A couple of times, get a sense of what I've just gone through. If you do have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to text or call me. You have my number. Give me a shout, and I will jump on and see if there's anything we need to clear up. But I think that kind of gets the gist across in the most kind of clear and straightforward fashion possible. Hopefully this screen recording helped to clear things up. Easy mistake to make with the click on the add or edit subtitles. Kind of landed us in a spot I did not foresee. So I hope that that helps. Thank you so much, Michelle, and hope to hear from you soon. Take care.